This is the After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
It is the After Party live on a Waterfall Wednesday, and thank you for your patience. We had a guest mix-up time zone situation where times got crossed, and right now Mark Thompson and Bill Black are recording something. They'll talk about banks. Of course, Bill Black is a legal expert. He also has an opinion as to police procedure, what happened in Minnesota with the ICE shooting today. So they'll talk about that. They'll talk about this cash infusion into Wall Street banks that has happened, uncovered by DC reports. And so right now they're recording that will roll tomorrow, along with David Katz will be in tomorrow on the Mark Thompson show. So sorry, I had to set that up as that show ended and this show began, and there was extra stuff to do in there. So my apologies, and thank you so much for waiting. Hello to you, Nullifidian. Thank you. And hello, Ricky O'Bear. Thanks for being here as well. Yeah, so I'm so glad that you guys are hanging out, and he's a cute little bear. Yeah, talking about the Belinda Weymouth segment. I really love when she talks about ways to avoid plastic, and I know that we can't completely avoid it. We're breathing it in. It's everywhere all around us. So it's not about cutting it, but it's about limiting it and finding ways to reduce the amount of those nanoplastics, microplastics that end up floating around inside of us. So, okay, now I have limited time. So, the first thing I want to do, because it is Waterfall Wednesday, and I don't think we need a little cool down, is I saw my friend, and I didn't ask her first, but I know she won't mind because she's awesome. My friend Kim Schaffer, who worked with me and the rest of the staff at KGO, posted something yesterday. She took a hike in Marin County and found a beautiful waterfall and posted video of it. So I wanted to run the video because the sound is amazing. It's only 20 seconds long, and I won't speak during the video, so you can just kind of absorb the calm. Here it is. So my thanks to Kim for posting that on Facebook, and I will have to call her and tell her that I used it and showed it to everyone. But it's just, I love the shafts of light coming through as the waterfall cascades down into the stream. Again, this is, I believe, Mill Valley, Mount Tam area on a hike that she took yesterday. Really, really beautiful. Love that. And thank you to everyone who contributes to the show. I do want you to know that this is not possible without you, including our newest contributor, Rand Thalling. Thank you for that. If you would like the PayPal information, it is at the bottom of every show description and in the About tab. Thank you to Wes for kicking in 5, James S., Barbara H., Mary Zane B., Carol S. Huge thank you to everyone who keeps this show going, sending emails as well, and story ideas and uplifting messages. Just really appreciate everything. Okay, let's talk. Can we talk about this giant phantom jellyfish? I have some pictures of this jellyfish. This is posted on Popular Science. Check these guys out. Look at this. Seen in the depths of the Pacific Ocean, this giant, can I speak? Giant phantom jellyfish. They live where the sun doesn't shine. And scientists from the Schmidt Ocean Institute recently found one. Huge deep sea jellyfish spotted 830 feet down in the Pacific, They used a remote operated vehicle, ROV for short, exploring the Colorado Rawson Submarine Canyon off the coast of Argentina. And they find this during a dive over the winter holidays with this ROV. The researchers were exploring the wall of the submarine canyon when they encountered this creature. Very rare to see it. Only about 118 sightings over the last 110 years. So we don't see these guys very often. We think, though, that the giant phantom jellyfish is pretty widespread through the world's oceans, except maybe in the Arctic. They have four long oral arms. They don't sting the way that tentacles on other jellyfish sting. They use the arms to grab their prey and then guide it toward their mouths. Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute folks at MBARI say these phantom jellyfish can reach lengths of 3.3 feet across and get this, 33 feet long. That's a giant jellyfish. They previously spotted one using the MBARI remote operated vehicle swimming alongside swimming during an expedition in the Gulf of California. They watched a fish hover above the jellyfish's body and then swim in and out of its arms. So that's pretty cool. I do have video of this jellyfish in action. All right, I'm going to play it for you because just the way they move is super cool. Let me take the picture down so you can see this giant jellyfish moving along. I'll mute the music so we don't get demonetized, but there it is. Again, really rare to see this. They can be 33 feet long, more than 3 feet wide. This is crazy. Sometimes, it's so weird to think the creatures that live on Earth look more like aliens and weird things from other planets. But yeah, really, really interesting creature. So that's a giant phantom jellyfish. Look at that little fish, just kind of swimming around, not really realizing that danger is afoot. Maybe close to becoming a meal. This is the footage, I believe, taken from the MBARI, Monterey Bay Aquarium Research vehicle. I love how it looks almost lighted from the inside. They're really magical creatures and so strange and so different. And there it is. Yeah, really cool. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you. I have another story, and this one is a little bit disturbing. Hold on, now I'm having some problems with let's see if we get this right. My apologies. I know it's Mark Thompson's show business, and I have a whole nother show going on here, but I need to make sure that they are getting the recording done. It's like you want to make sure everything goes right, and it looks like maybe they have some issues. Let's see if I can peek in and see if they're doing the interview. Oh, there's Mark. But I don't see Mr. Black. All right, well, I'm going to have to leave them to it because there are things that I would like to talk to you about, including this is a sad story. And my apologies for taking a moment to check on that. I don't know if you saw this picture. This is a whale that somehow ended up on the bow of a tanker ship. And there it is. This dead whale was found on the bow of a ship in New Jersey. Now they're investigating exactly what happened. You imagine, if they hit it with enough force to flick the whale up on top of the bow, or maybe it was some kind of a jumping accident. I don't know, but this is a container ship that's docked in New Jersey, and authorities are working to remove the carcass of this whale and figure out what in the world happened. The whale was reported Sunday by the Coast Guard in the New Jersey area at a marine terminal. This port at the base of the Walt Whitman Bridge that links New Jersey and Pennsylvania. The Marine Center it says they're working to tow the carcass away to conduct a necropsy and determine how this whale met its end. They are asking anyone with information, maybe that saw what happened, to call a hotline number. This is believed to be a fin whale about 30 feet long. It's an endangered species known to swim in waters from southern New Jersey to the New York City area, at least in this part of the world. So how this happened is just weird, really, really weird, and sad to see this whale end up like this. They found Cloud 9, and it is not at all like I thought it would look. This is a mysterious space object full of dark matter. It's nicknamed Cloud 9. There's an international team of astronomers looking at this new class, they say, of cosmic entity. They're viewing it through the Hubble Space Telescope, and details about the existence of Cloud 9 have been published in the journal, the Astrophysical Journal Letters. They say this marks the first confirmed example, what you're looking at right there, of something that's long been theorized and thought about, but never proven. This formation known as a reionization limited HI cloud, relic for short. They call it Cloud 9. They think it's starless, but it contains some of the universe's most elusive content, according to popular science, and that would be dark matter. This cloud, according to the study co-author at the Space Telescope Science Institute, is a window into the dark universe. Andrew Fox saying, "We know from theory that most of the mass in the universe is expected to be dark matter, but it's difficult to detect the dark material because it doesn't emit light. But Cloud 9 is giving us a look at a dark matter dominated cloud, and it's really rare to be able to see it. It's about 2,000 light years from Earth, smaller, symmetrical, and compact compared to the typical hydrogen clouds in the Milky Way galaxy. Initial calculations indicate the pressure of Cloud 9's gas balances the dark matter's cloud gravity. So I guess it features more dark matter than gravity." Astronomers are estimating that this includes about 5 billion solar masses of dark matter. I don't know how much that is, but I'm sure that it's a lot. Cloud 9 said to be the first known relic and a tale of a failed galaxy. The astronomer saying, in science, we usually learn more from the failures than the successes. And in this case, seeing no stars is what proves the theory right, telling us that we have found in the local universe a primordial building block of galaxy that has not formed. So when looking at the word relic, RELHIC is the abbreviation for this. They say that there are two letters that are really significant, the H and the I, standing for neutral hydrogen, the elemental gas from the universe's earliest eras that never contributed to the birth of stars. And Cloud 9's core of neutral hydrogen is about 4,900 light years wide and contains about 1 million times the mass of our sun. That's big. They think that relics lurk somewhere in the depth of space, but now to pinpoint one, that's a big thing. That's a big thing. They had a clue in 2023 that Cloud 9, what they're calling this one, was out there, but they needed the Hubble Space Telescope's advanced camera to confirm that it is what it is. They think that this Cloud 9 might always be a failed galaxy, depending on its growth rate. One day, it could become massive enough to collapse and form the first stars in a new galactic neighborhood. But we're seeing it before that ever happened. I think that's really cool. Huge, huge thank you. I'm seeing contributions pop in, which is much needed. Luis, thank you for the 10. In honor of Altadena, the community I love, where I purchased my first home, leaving there 7 years ago was hard. Seeing that wonderful community devastated 1 year ago was heartbreaking. May it be a phoenix. May it be indeed. Luis, thank you so much for the contribution. And this is marks 1 year. I hate to say anniversary. It marks 1 year since the fires broke out and took lives and homes and caused devastation in the community of Altadena, in the Southern California area and the Palisades. So I remember people that are still trying to come back from that fire. And for a lot of people, it'll take a lot of years to make their lives whole again. And that's not talking about the people who died that day as well. More than 31, or at least 31, I believe. It seems like I can't believe it's been a year since that happened. Anyway, thank you, Luis, and thank you for taking time to remember that. Really appreciate it. Let's move to this story about robots. I love a good robot story. This is the CEO of NVIDIA. His name is Jensen Huang, and he is talking to Sky News, saying that human-like robots are coming this year. Human-like robots. The arrival of advanced robots, he says, will create jobs, not abolish them. I don't know how that's going to happen. He says AI is needed to fill gaps in the world's workforce. I have question marks, and I don't know if I agree, but that is what he is saying, and that sometime in the coming year, human-like robots will arrive, and apparently we shouldn't be afraid of it because we need it. I have a story about Disneyland as well. I don't know if you've ever done this, and I didn't think it was a problem. Because usually I'll tell people, behind me or what have you, like when you first get in line, that you're waiting for someone else. So this is a story about kind of line cutting, but kind of not. It's not like no one was waiting in line. It's just that there was one family member waiting in line, and then the others, I don't know, got off a ride or got out of a store or whatever, and then came to join their family member who had been standing waiting in line. And so the family members that are new arrivals walk past everyone waiting in line to join their family member who has been waiting. I think as long as you have one person waiting in line, I don't understand how it matters. It's not like people just walk past you if you're the person that's getting cut in front of. But this did not end well in a Disneyland situation. So it's called amusement park etiquette. And perhaps I didn't realize that this was a thing. I guess we all know now. People think this is very rude. I didn't think there was a problem with it, but I'm being schooled now. This group of people didn't push their way through the long line, but you kind of have to say, excuse me, pardon me, what have you, in an effort to try to catch up to the rest of their party farther up in the line. The breach in etiquette here resulted in an unpleasant confrontation. December 30th, this line skipping incident ended up in a bloody fist fight between two guests at Disneyland. This is supposed to be the happiest place on earth. See, there's somebody that's been standing there waiting. Do you think that's rude? If my family was getting off another ride, but I hopped in line say, for Pirates of the Caribbean, and said to the person behind me, just want to let you know that, 3 members of my family will be joining me. I'm standing here keeping the spot. Or do you think that then I need to go back when my family members get in the back of the line and join them back there? I don't know. Disneyland experts, please weigh in. This brawl got so bad that one man had to go to the hospital for treatment. They're still looking for another guy involved. This happened at the Indiana Jones ride at Disneyland. One group cuts through the line trying to catch up with their family members. According to social media posts, a family of 6 was pushing ahead, and a man who had been waiting in line spoke up. Witnesses say this line skipping family ran from the scene of this brawl. And as of today, the family member of that family involved in the fight has not been identified. The police are involved now. Investigators say they have strong leads on his identity. They think he's a resident of Southern California. The man who was punched was visiting from Washington State with his wife and teenage daughter. Medics at Disneyland treated him, and then he went to the hospital for stitches on his forehead, but managed to come back to Disneyland the next day with his family. So, yeah. Uh, the there's a I don't know if you never know who's speaking online or if it's for real, but there's a woman that claims to be the wife of the man who was hit, and she said he refused to hit back. He didn't want the rest of the family to get kicked out or blacklisted from Disneyland. There's video that their teenage child got of the man hitting, she said, her husband. She said it's a wicked scar that he'll have after this. Line skipping, a problem at Disneyland and other theme parks as well. More tolerated during the less busy times, but when lines are packed and the park is packed and the waits are really long, especially during the holidays, as we have just, come out of, people going over winter break and what have you. It's the busiest time of the year. The lines are long, the tickets are more expensive, and people are not having patience. They already feel like, it's not the best experience because of the crowds, and tempers flare. So, line cutting. See, I think of cutting as you're cutting in front of someone, but you didn't have anyone waiting there. But maybe I've been doing it wrong. Maybe I'm the problem. When this guy was punched, and after standing up saying, "Hey, you're cutting the line was about an hour long." So, yeah. The Disneyland resort rules include a mandate that guests show common courtesy to fellow guests and cast members by not engaging in unsafe, illegal, or disruptive or offensive behavior. And that usually does include jumping lines or saving places in lines for other people. I feel like the rudest person in the world because I think I've done that. Oh no. I just didn't think that was a problem as long as you're waiting and you tell the people behind you, but then there's more people that pile up behind them, right? Yeah. Susan says, sounds awful. And line cuts happen all the time. Very sad because Disneyland promotes fun, kindness, and family. Yeah. Granny Great second says, I agree with you, Kim. Tammy says restaurants here won't let anyone get a table until the whole party is present. I've been to restaurants that do that as well. Mama says cutting in line is like standing in a parking spot to save it for someone, and that is not cool. Oh, I'm going to have to change my ways, Mama, because I thought, you're staking your claim. I get it now. Louise says it gets chippy at the mouse house, Kim. Imagine you're almost onto the ride and 10 to 15 people suddenly move ahead of you after you've been waiting 2 hours for a 5-minute ride. A few okay, but there is abuse. Wow. I just didn't think that was a problem. Man, I feel horrible now. The thing I hate the most is to be rude rude people and people that are not conscientious of others' needs. You know what I mean? Where you just kind of blatantly move through the world without a care for anyone else. Be part of society and think about other people, and you're part of a camaraderie of community. And so I would hate to not to be so inconsiderate. So I'm glad, Luis and Mama and everyone else, that you're setting me straight. Doug says I would wait at the end of the line for my group. Nullifidian says some people are so selfish. Tammy says we should set better examples for the kids. Something tells me, says Mama, these were Disney adults. I don't know. They say it was a family of 6. I don't know. Too rude, says Ricky O'Bear. Now I feel awful for ever having done that. Yeah. Man. Ricky says one person holding a place for 15. I think it was one person holding a place for 5. It was a family of 6, I believe. Yeah. Muriel says, I knew what was coming with this story. That is not fair, says Gordon. Yeah. If your kid has to go to the bathroom and get right back, no problem. But some big groups organize sending one person ahead to give a fast pass to his or her buddies. Wow. I swear to you guys, I did not realize that was rude. I really didn't. And now I know. Mm-hmm. Yvonne says, I've tried to hold a parking space one time and it didn't come out so well, so I'll never do that again. Oh, man. When I lived in San Francisco, it was a really busy neighborhood along Divisadero, and you could never park. We had one spot in the garage, and then we needed one on the street. And we used to call it the parking shuffle because you would circle around and around trying to find a spot somewhere, within walking distance of your apartment. And so when one opened right in front, you know, it's been known that people would stand there, and I have stood there knowing that my husband was coming right down the road. So I mean, there's a difference in that, I think, maybe in front of your own home versus in a mall parking lot or something where it should be first come, first serve. So I don't know. Scott says you go to music fests like Hardly Strictly and people put down huge tarps and no one else shows up. 2 people and 100 square feet, and that is rude. Yeah, it's not being conscientious of people around you, right? Like, I'm going to take up this space regardless of anyone else and their needs. So I get that. Man. Well, I think we've all been schooled today. At least I have. You guys knew it was rude. I'll never do that again. But in this case, yeah, fist thrown at Disneyland. They have a problem with the Oakland A's. They tried to make a trademark deal for the name Las Vegas Athletics. They wanted to trademark Las Vegas Athletics. And the US Patent and Trademark Office said, no, you can't have it because it's too general. The A's denied the request to trademark the names Las Vegas Athletics and Vegas Athletics. They tried to trademark that as well. And they were refused. They were told the nickname Athletics was too generic and could be confused with other activities, even if associated with Las Vegas. But that's been the name of the team since they began playing as the Philadelphia Athletics in 1901. The A's keeping the name as they moved to Kansas City in the 50s and then Oakland in the late 60s. No, you can't have it. Not doing it. Of course, the A's went from Oakland to now a placeholder in West Sacramento, where they played last year in the first of 3 planned seasons, going by the name only Athletics while playing in the Sacramento area. But they've got this massive stadium that's being built on the Las Vegas Strip. $2 billion they're spending on this massive stadium with a 33,000 seat capacity. They're hoping it'll open in time for the 2028 season. And in the run up to the A's move to Vegas, they've signed some pretty big contracts as well, including deals for some big players. Yeah. So I don't know, but no Las Vegas Athletics or Vegas Athletics. It's too common. They don't want it. Can't do it. Here's an interesting story about the world's oldest poison-tipped arrow found. They were using poison way back when in South Africa, 60,000 years ago. Where did they get the poison? It was a toxic onion. Hunters employing poison-tipped arrows in an effort to take down prey. The paleoarchaeologists made this find in South Africa, and they say it indicates that humans have been using poison arrows for even longer than originally thought. The findings explored in a study that were published today in the journal Science Advances. So it looks like humans have used both tools and the ecology around us to get what we wanted for a long time. An archaeologist at the University of Johannesburg, who is the study co-author, says this is the oldest direct evidence that humans used arrow poison, and it shows that our ancestors in southern Africa not only invented the bow and arrow much earlier than previously thought, but also understood how to use nature's chemistry to increase hunting efficiency. They found multiple 60,000-year-old quartz arrowheads. They excavated them from the Umhlutuzana rock shelter in South Africa, about 300 miles southeast of Johannesburg. This is an area famous for Stone Age artifacts, including evidence of fire making. And they did a chemical analysis of these organic residues on these little tiny chunks of quartz. And they found the presence of bufandrine and epibufanicine, and both of those compounds are found in a poisonous onion called the gift ball, Gifbol, gift ball. It is an onion that is still used by indigenous hunters in that region. So effective that all these years later, they're still using it. The researchers said finding traces of the same poison on both prehistoric and historical arrowheads is crucial. And fascinating that people had such a deep and long-standing understanding of the use of plants. These quartz arrowheads you're seeing on the screen mark the first direct evidence of using poison on arrowheads. That's really interesting. It illustrates levels of planning, artisanry, and local cognition already being exhibited by the peoples of the Stone Age, and a clear sign of advanced thinking in early humans. See, all this we can tell by just a little chunk of rock. That's really cool. All right. Thus ends the After Party Live, and my apologies for a shorter show and getting a later start, but we've had a bit of a trouble on the Mark Thompson show, and so it rolls into this show. Huge thank you to everyone who contributes to this show. Luis, thank you so much, and thank you for helping us remember the crisis in Southern California a year ago, and the keep in our hearts and minds that people are still struggling and suffering and trying to recover from that. Thank you. Appreciate it very much. And thank you again to everyone who checks in online and through the email. Kim at theafterparty.live is the way to get to me. If you have any ideas for stories or any messages or comments you want to send, Kim at theafterparty.live. And of course, the PayPal information is included in every show description. Wes, James S., Barbara H., Mary Zane B., Carol S., thank you so much for the recent contributions. Tomorrow on the Mark Thompson Show, fingers crossed that an interview was recorded with Professor Bill Black. We'll see how that worked out. But for sure, we know David Katz will be in on Thursday. All right. Make it the best rest of your Wednesday. And I'll see you tomorrow here on YouTube on both the Mark Thompson Show and on the After Party Live, and tomorrow on the Nikki Maduro Show as well. I look forward to that. And I lost my closing video. Where did it all go? Wow. All right. I don't know what my problem is. Nothing is working today. And I'm not sure what I did wrong. Oh no. Oh, you know why? I know why. Because I'm in the Mark Thompson Show and not this show. Here it is. I have it.
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.
That's funny. Donald, you wonder how that all came to be, right? Dorky, maybe. I don't know about cute.